another night back to back Panthers podcast. What's up? I'm Cody Lashley. I'm here with my man Tony Dunn, who's always adjusting something last minute. But you know how we do, man. We had to do this collaboration video with our homies at the Black Cat Panther podcast, man. If y'all don't know these dudes, man, I love these dudes. I go on their pod just about, damn near every day now. I roll up on Black Cat Panther pod, man. Shout out to my guy Q and Pop. Gentlemen, what's up, fellas?
What's good? What's good with you, man? Welcome. Look, we streaming over here at Black Cat 2, man. Welcome the family on in the building too as well, man. Cody, and then we got the professor in the building. So yeah, it's good to be here.
What's up, guys? How you doing? And I know it's not the best of circumstances. 0-6, we're coming off a bye, but somehow the storylines are still good right now. The Panthers are facing Houston, and we got Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud, and then the Colts. Too bad Anthony Richardson isn't healthy. You know, that would have been nice, or at least it would have made for a crazy ass discussion for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So, listen, man, I got some questions that I fired up. I figured that we can get us going and jump into this. Gentlemen, it's round one, baby. Let's go. So I threw these questions together, and I figured they would start some good discussions. And listen, man, I give credit to these guys. They were on something before I think anyone else was. And I'm going to post it up like this. Well, we'll start with this. Is Frank Reich on the hot seat? And if so, who should replace him? Now, I'm going to serve it up to y'all because I already know y'all feel strongly about this. So go ahead, Q. Shake your titties, bro.
Well. I never thought you would ask. Yes, Frank Wright is on the hot seat. Probably one of the hottest seats in all of football right now. Only simply because, all the hype, all the surroundings, everything that they said post draft, everything, leading up to the point of us selecting Bryce, and how they say they built this team for him and how this was the best option for a rookie. And then you come out here and you underwhelm completely. You go 0-6 before the first part of the break, and now you're headed towards the part of the schedule where you got to go against the rookies. This is where you look at the other guys and saying, hey, we thought we had the better guy out of the bunch. So now it's getting to the point now where you're going to be looking and you're going to see C.J. Stroud. You're going to see AR is going to be out. Thank God he's going to be out, so you wouldn't have to even use that comparison, because you're looking at guys you could have had. And if Frank Wright comes out and lose to guys that he could have had, his ass is on the hottest seat in America. So, yeah. And then the replacement that I had was the guy that Tepper went to the first time. When they were having secret meetings on the golf course. Harbaugh. That's my answer. He wanted to come in here a year ago. He was a guy that wanted to bring his own GM in. And because that was the case, and they were having secret meetings back then, and they couldn't come to a conclusion of what they wanted to do, that didn't end up happening. And we ended up going through the routes of interviewing all these other guys, and we ended up with Frank Wright. So, that's basically how I feel about it. What y'all got?
Hot water Harbaugh. That's what we call him right now. The thief. Thieving out there, man.
He's out there stealing signs, man.
I know. He's stealing opportunities from Frank Reich. No one believed. Look, I think it'd be wild just 7 weeks ago to say that there was a potential that Frank Reich could be a one-and-done coach. But every week that has gone by, that has actually become a more realistic possibility. Now, I'm not sure entirely it's going to happen. We got to see how the rest of the season plays out. Maybe the Panthers catch a little life with Thomas Brown calling the plays. Maybe Bryce Young. I mean, look, who has not been bad. He's not been bad, Bryce. He's just not been what I guess as polished and really just we haven't as a team been as good as we expected. And a lot of this probably was from the fans putting inflated expectations on the team. The team hyped it up as the superstar coaching staff. They did get their pick of the litter when it came to quarterbacks. But while we may have overhyped what the Panthers could be this season, we are not overstating how bad it's been so far this season. It's just really the idea of the team being 0-6 is just it's freaking bizarre, man. And nobody had this on their bingo card as they were going forward. And it's kind of hard to say he isn't on the hot seat, given the fact of that the team has just been so poorly performed. I don't know if it's poor. I mean, it's a failure of everything. It's a failure of coaching. It's a failure in the front office. It's a failure by the players. It's a damn injury after injury that has exposed the lack of depth and how a poor 10 years of drafting has just left you with nothing behind it. So it would be foolish to say that Frank Reich isn't on the hot seat. It's just, man, how bad are the Panthers going to be for the rest of the season? And will Tepper have the guts to be a one and done guy or for Reich? But if you could land hot water Harbaugh, and prepare that and have it ready and queued up and chambered without getting in trouble for tampering and all of that stuff. I don't know. Can you tamper with college coaches? Were you allowed to just go and poach from those guys as much as you want? Look, why do you guys believe Harbaugh's done? Right? Didn't he just get an extension?
They were about to give him an extension, but then all this shit with the sign stealing came out.
He got one last year.
Well, I mean, a couple of years back. But this is the question I want to pose to y'all, right? We all agree that the Panthers are not drafting well. Scott Fitter's not worth a hot damn. My question is like, whenever you're a head coach or whenever you're in a coaching circle and you get an opportunity to be a head coach, you don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get at something like that. So I don't blame Frank Reich for becoming the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. He didn't know when he would ever get this opportunity again. He is victim to the same trash roster that everyone else is having to deal with right now. We don't have the level of players at this moment to field a competitive football team. And I don't necessarily know that Frank Reich is the problem with that.
Harbaugh's going to go to the Bears, guys.
But on top of that, I mean, what does that say about David Tepper to spend all this money hiring a brand new coaching staff, and then after the first year, nah, we're done with all of y'all. We're getting brand new everybody.
Is it wrong to say you just got it wrong, though?
That's what I was thinking.
Isn't it better to just get on your knees and say I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and rip off the Band-Aid than it is to just cling to what you thought was the right move at the time?
What billionaire gonna do that?
I mean, it's possible though, because in my mind, in order for Matt Rule not to look bad, right, for him not to say, oh, he's moved from coach to coach to coach to coach. Well, you could do the same thing that Tampa did and move Bruce Arians, like they did. They moved Bruce Arians upstairs. Do the same thing with Frank. He would be a good person you can talk to, somebody who's relative. And you can go that way. That way it doesn't look like, okay, they just dismissed him and got him out of there. Now he's looking for a job. And then bring Harbaugh in here and help him fix everything that we having a problem with. Because we do know that he knows how to build an NFL team. That's why I need Tepper to submit and commit. Just do those two things for me. Submit and commit.
Some people have speculated that Frank Reich might retire. It's just like, if it's this bad, I guess it just goes. I think, Cody, the answer to your question about is Frank Reich going to be one and done just really depends on how bad it is this season at the end. Is that I think if the Panthers get 5 wins, I think if they get to 5 wins or something like that, then Reich is going to come back. Yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be tough, but it is possible, right? is that you have an opportunity to potentially split these next 2 games. You would hope. I mean, you got to get 1 win before you can get 5. Let's put it that way, right?
Professor.
But we've been in it against our division opponents, man.
Tell him, Q. Come on, Q. Bring that energy, Q. Come on.
Stop that shit right there.
What, you think we're gonna be 0-17?
You might as well buckle up and get your ass ready and get ready to look at this game and this team for what it is. They aren't going to win a fucking game this season. I hope you know that.
None? That would be
who the hell are we going to beat? We can't beat the Bears.
Would you rather go 2-15 or 0-17?
No. Let's stay right here, Professor.
Losing is losing.
even your guy, Gardner Minshew, is gonna be the ass.
I know, man. Well, Gardner got that drip, bro.
See what I'm saying?
Bro. Man.
And you know what? I mean, look at that. Is you want to talk about a team that has overperformed. Right, I mean, Steichen has done a great job with the Colts, and nobody saw that coming. Right, I mean, I think even the crazy dude in Arizona has done a pretty good job. It's wild that Frank Reich is out of all the new hires this year has been the worst coach or the worst performing coach.
Well, look, how about this? Since we're already talking about it, let's get to question number 2. In a single game this year. I'm sorry, Tony. I'm not on your side on this one, man.
You don't think we're gonna? You think 0-17?
Well, I don't. Why would I give this team the benefit of the doubt to beat anyone right now? We had an opportunity to beat the Saints, couldn't get it done except for some garbage time points. Same thing with Atlanta. We haven't seen Tampa Bay yet. I don't know, man. I see incompetence everywhere, and unless Thomas Brown can revamp this offense entirely, yeah, I don't know how much faith I have in that. You're hoping that somewhere in the next 3 weeks' time that we're going to be able to pull out a W somewhere. I just don't know where it is, man. I think the Bears.
And the next week's time out, you got 10 more weeks, dude.
Bro, the backup quarterback for the Bears might.
Well, you got some kind of faith.
I think it's more. I don't know if it's faith. Look, do I think that the Panthers should be favored in any of these matches? No. Do I think would I be ready to put money on any individual game? I just think is like if you look historically, teams just haven't gone 0-16 or somebody even like look is the Texans even pulled one out at the end to fuck everybody to screw their draft pick last year. It's almost like do the Panthers go win a game or do they fall into a win? My thing is this is like as a fan, would you rather be 0-17 or 2-15? I kind of think the 0-17 would be wild. You would just be like, man, we
would be the first team in history to be over.
Tony, look, the situation we got in, we done move up, we done move all these moving parts to get this quarterback in here. We're gonna lose some games, so I think everybody need to buckle their seatbelts, get their ass ready, because 0-17 looks a lot better draft time when you're sitting at 33 versus sitting at 40 something. So all I'm saying is you can go out here and try to be a hero and win 2 punk ass games, and what is that gonna prove? You're still losing. Well, it's still a sorry season.
You might be picking 33 even if you go 2-15.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this.
The Bears already got a win, right? I mean, what? They've got 1 win at least. The Cardinals have a win. You know what I'm saying?
Bears
it's like
2 win.
Yeah, all right, so Bears already at 2 win. Right now is you could go and win 1 or 2 games and still get the 33rd pick.
I want to know why is pride such a motherfucker for y'all just to just say, hey, we suck this year. Let's swallow the pride and just say, hey.
I know y'all, bro. I just say,
I think it's just I think you're gonna fall into a win at some point. I think you're gonna fall into a win at some point. It's like, look, did anybody have Minnesota beating San Francisco? Did anybody, you know what I mean? Did anybody have the Patriots beating the Bills? Like, sometimes it just the football gods, which I shouldn't say that because I'm Catholic, but the football like statistics just lend towards. Look, I mean, even like when was the last 0-16 team? Was it
The
Cleveland?
Browns. It was the
Yeah.
Is
Browns
that how
in
they
Your
got
ass is
Baker? Is that how they got
witnessing
Baker?
history
2017.
right before your very eyes, right here.
Pretty
That we could be the
wild.
first team to go 0-17 since they
No,
started this new since they add this extra game on.
Hey, Pop,
the fact, yeah.
Pop, go ahead and read your money, man.
DJ with that 499. CJ will come in swinging Sunday. So buckle up. He has his guys and they will run through a walk for him. So they ready. BJ appreciate it with that super chat.
Yes, sir,
Hey,
The
Bubba.
shout
sad
out,
thing
BJ.
about this is that if we're playing in Texas, Professor, we have just now opened up the door, the first step to them going to the playoffs. This
Yeah,
is
I
the
agree with
ignition.
that.
So how many times have the Panthers been the team they have to beat to go to the playoffs? And it's sad that there's a history of it. You want to get back into the game? Go down to the Carolina Panthers and beat them. That'll start you off.
Yeah, I guess
This is it.
unless you're the Lions, maybe. Man, the Lions, they should have, man, they got skunked by the Ravens this past week. You thought they were for. No, you're right. I mean, the Panthers are a get right team. You know, I think this is if I was a backup running back, this is who I would want to play. If you are a running back, a number one running back, you don't want to play the Panthers because then you're going to have 100 yards and then they're going to put in the other guy behind you. He's going to have 100 yards and people are going to be like, oh, you can run it. You can anybody. Dante Foreman is just as good as Christian McCaffrey.
Hey, Dante Foreman in one game has as many rushing touchdowns as Miles Sanders has all year, man.
He's got more rushing touchdowns than the Carolina Panthers do.
Yeah, dude.
I
That's
think we
all.
have one rushing touchdown this year.
All right, but look, since we're talking about management, there has been a big time management question that Panther fans have been asking since before the season even started, man. So let's jump into question number 3. Hey, Brian Burns. Bro, this has been a burning question. Everybody disagrees on whether or not he's worth it, whether or not he is an elite player. Maybe the Panthers should have taken their trade from the Rams last year or sent him to the Bears. I want to know what y'all think. Are they going to pay Brian Burns? And is he worth the dollar amount that we're going to end up giving him?
I believe that they are. They are probably going to be set to pay him because had they wanted to get rid of him, they probably would have done it already. So by now, if they would have, but you got to realize that I think they have done themselves an injustice because his value was way higher last year. You could have got 2 first-round picks and an additional pick for him. And now you look at him, the longer you take to get this deal done, the less people are willing to give a pick for him. And now you're in a situation where I don't think you can even get a first-round pick for the guy because everybody is knowing that he's getting ready to walk into free agency. And for a team that's looking for someone to get his services, you're going to basically have to have him to commit to coming over to your team. And no team is wanting to go through that. They want a guy that's undoubtedly going to be theirs that they can get signed on the dotted line, and they don't want to have to go through that whole the whole locker room issue of not having a guy like that signed. So we mismanaged this guy. We aren't going to get him signed. I mean, we are going to get him signed, but I think it's going to be around 28 million.
I feel like some other Panther fans. I think he's a good player, but I think he's a star, but not a superstar. I don't think that he dominates games, but I'd rather have him than not have him. I think that this year he has to get at least 16 sacks. We are in game 7, so he
He
doesn't
ain't
have
getting
that
no
many more.
16 sacks. What he got? 4?
That's
What's he got right
see,
now?
yeah, 4. And the only way he's gonna, to me, he's gonna get that 32 million is if he gets that 16 sacks. I don't think if he comes out this season with 11 sacks, that he can still ask for 32 million. Now I know he know his own worth, and I get it. We don't have no other pass rush, so that's where the problem lies. They might still have to give him it, but for me, as far as like if I was doing business, you have to live up to the number that you said you should be the player that you said that you are. And if you're gonna be a dominant player and getting that big of type of money, it has to be performed. So I'm willing to give 28 if I was over that, but 32 I'm not willing to shake for that. But I think they'll sign him.
Well, first up, let me welcome the homie GOAT to the podcast. GOAT, how are you, man?
What up? What up?
What
They
up?
do.
GOAT, let me let you jump in on this convo, bro. Is Brian Burns worth the dollar amount that he's seeking? And are the Panthers going to be the one to pay him? Because I'm going to be real. I'm kind of thinking this a no.
Well, I heard Pop just say 32 million. So where are we getting the 32?
Well, we have a ton of cap space going forward, but I don't know if anybody realistically believes he's going to get that much. I think it's more of that he was always trying to aim for that 28 million. And it looked like from what reports were is that the Panthers had offered
23.
him, 23, kind of that Max Crosby number.
Yeah.
Look, is that I guess if you're going to trade him, you got to find a partner that's making a run, right? It's going to be somebody like the Ravens or somebody like that. That I don't think the Cowboys need him. They got a bunch of people up front. The Eagles, good God, if they did. What if with this? Wouldn't it be wild if he went to the Texans and they were making a playoff run?
Yeah. Dude, that'd be embarrassing, man.
It won't be the last time we got been finessed by him.
Well, they got probably. I don't know if they got multiple picks.
So look, I said this on Tuesday night, man. Last night, that two things can be true at once. That Brian Burns is not in that upper echelon. He's not on the level of a Nick Bosa or a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett. I don't even believe he's on the level of a Hassan Reddick, if I'm speaking very honestly. But we're also in the same position where we don't really have a choice, man. He is the only edge rusher. We don't draft well enough to be able to replace him. So the Carolina Panthers are in a position where they have to overpay Brian Burns because they have no other options, man. So is Brian Burns worth it? No. But the Carolina Panthers have no choice but to give that man his money because I agree. I don't know how much they're going to fetch for him now. I think they'll probably still get a first-round pick, but it's not going to be two like it was last year. That's for damn sure.
I think, I'm in agreement that Brian Burns is a good player, maybe even a very good player, but he's not an elite pass rusher.
Y'all tripping, bro.
Hold on.
Look, that same Nick Bosa, Nick Bosa that you talking about, he got twice the sacks to him. He got more forced fumbles than him. He even have more tackles than him right now. The guy has 2.5 sacks. Now, this is the God, Nick Bosa, we speak of, that walks on water. Now, our boy.
Pittsburgh guys, I bet you if we pull up the Pittsburgh dudes, they got more. If it's only about sacks, then then we could just find anybody that had a really good season.
Let's not cherry pick. The numbers are the numbers. If he got better numbers and he's coming out here and giving you more than a Bosa, who is the pinnacle of that position, let's not cherry pick.
Can't stop the run, dude.
You're shaking your teeth, Q.
Can't stop the run.
Not pretending. No, you're really about. I'm gonna let go. But Q, you pretending like just because they have similar numbers through this year alone,
they don't have similar numbers. He got better numbers.
All right, he has better numbers. But has he ever hit the highest heights that Bosa has? No. Has he ever come close to a TJ Watt? How about the dude Alex Highsmith for the Steelers that last year had 15 sacks in 1 year? That was more than Brian Burns has ever had.
You got to understand when he got a monster on the other side. Come on, bro. You acting like the team around him doesn't matter. We told you this multiple times, Cody. Brian Burns is on a fucking island, and all he got is Derek Brown. Everybody else team is
this.
built.
Yeah, man, y'all act like he's
Okay,
always double.
fine. How about
teamed.
this? Since y'all don't want to hear, package his ass right on up and send him off and see what you got.
Well, here, hold on. Let me finish.
You talking about you
Let me
complaining
finish.
now about the team? Imagine then.
All right, let me look up this real quick. All right, look, let me finish on this. We're not fit, but yeah, is that if I don't think, look, is if you're gonna tell me, so you're trying to tell me that you would pick Brian Burns over Nick Bosa if you had the opportunity.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that look at his numbers.
Okay.
Look at the
How about
numbers,
this? Would
Professor.
you pick him?
You a numbers man.
TJ Watt? Would you pick him over TJ Watt? Would you pick him over Myles Garrett? What I'm saying
you're
is this:
a numbers man.
He's not a top 5 player.
You're not answering.
Okay.
All right.
So
here's the thing.
How many forced fumbles he got? 0. How many sacks do he got? 2.5. Brian Burns got 4. Brian Burns got a forced fumble. One got 15 tackles, one got 13 tackles. 2 tackles separate them. So all I'm saying is we have a similar style of player. You guys got to stop shitting on this guy. That's all I'm saying.
On him. What I'm saying is this: is he's not the elite. He's not elite of elite. He's not. First of all, he can't.
I just gave you an elite player, and they're in the same category.
Not Julius Peppers, bro. Not Julius Peppers. Doesn't stop the run.
Talking about 6. Go ahead.
So here, hold on. No, I want to say this though. I just want to finish this.
He's got more numbers than Peppers in the Carolina.
He don't got no more numbers than Peppers.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Peppers had 12 sacks in 12 games, dude, his rookie year, and like 2 interceptions. No, we ain't gonna go there. I think this though. I think that the Panthers. I think they have to pay him. I think they have to pay him.
I think y'all are cherry picking. Y'all are taking this year and a 6-game sample size, and then comparing that to the rest of their career like that's a match somehow. It's not anywhere close. He also wasn't even there in training camp. He didn't
Who's
even have training camp.
Who's on the opposite side of the line of Bosa? Who's on the opposite side of TJ Watt? Who's on the opposite side of Myles Garrett?
No, who is on the opposite side of Bosa? You tell me. Who's on the opposite side of Bosa?
You mean the double-digit sack getter that they got?
There are 19 players that have more sacks than Brian Burns.
Tell me his name.
I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but I remember he had double digits. He had double-digit sacks. He got Fred Warner. He got a better front overall 7 than everybody else that I'm talking about.
Are you also going to pretend like Brian Burns didn't have Hassan Reddick 2 years ago who put up better numbers than him?
No,
there are 19 players that have more sacks than Brian Burns. 19 players have more sacks than Brian Burns. And so you're trying to tell me he's a top 5 player? He should be paid top. But here's my point.
Okay.
This is my point.
So if you're going to use that stat, then that means Joey Bosa should not be in nobody's top at all. Nick Bosa shouldn't be at the top of nothing because Burns got better stats than him. If you're going to cherry pick and use that little stat, thank you.
I think the Panthers are going to have to pay him because without him, they don't have any defense. They don't have any players. Right. So look, and I just would say this is that if $2 million is the difference between us letting them walk and keeping them, then we're just going to need to overpay $2 million per year. You know, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, we ain't got no choice. Go ahead, Pop.
I do have to agree. If you look at the top pass rushers, they do have help. Brian Burns, unfortunately, doesn't have help. So that's where the conflict happens of what he can and cannot do. He did a better job when he had Hassan Reddick here, and shame on us for not signing him. Even though Hassan had more sacks, but you see once you had that double team, once you had them 2 tandems lined up on the line, that you had a real problem on the line. But it's hard when you're the best player doing it by yourself and getting put in hard situations to break double teams at times. I'm not saying get double team all the time, just at times. He needs a partner, but that's not the problem right now. The problem is we have him or we're going to keep him. Should he get paid that 28? Should he get paid the 26, 25? I think no matter what, they're still going to pay him.
Yeah.
Let me
yeah,
ask you
they're gonna
this:
have
is who, what kind of help does Danielle Hunter has 9 sacks?
Danielle Hunter.
Yeah. What kind of help does he got? What kind of help does
I'm
he
not
got?
sure. I'm not.
Look, I tell
I'm
you,
not sure.
is the only other guy that has sacks is 45th. Harrison Smith has 3 sacks.
Here we go.
So, like, I mean,
Yep.
look, is the help thing slightly overrated?
Okay, so in football, front sevens lead the way. Go ahead, because they go ahead.
Before y'all equate sacks, and then y'all look like what Tony just did. You looked up on your computer, you seen who the sack leader is in the NFL, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to look at this team. We're 0-6. We
They
don't
were
have
0-4,
help.
dude. The Vikings were 0-4.
Tony, we don't have no help from the offense. On the Vikings team, they have offense. They have plenty of offense. Kirk Cousins, Jefferson. You see number 3 just torched the other night. You understand? So the offense helps the defense. Then if they get a hand on the board, the other team has to pass. We're never ahead on the board. So they run on us. And what? We get gassed on the run every fucking Sunday.
Man, there are times on third down. There are times on third down where even on passing downs, they're dropping Brian Burns back into coverage. They're not even like rushing. If Vero doesn't deploy Brian Burns like that dominant edge rusher y'all want him to be. And
So go. Hey, go. Like, hey, watch this. Tag.
To do it.
Tag me in right here. Name me one player on this team that we got that's better than Fred Warner. Name me one guy that we got on this team that's as good as Javon Hargrove.
What's that got to do with Brian Burns?
Eric Armstead, Cleveland Farrell. The surrounding pieces around Bosa and those boys are better.
But
he's able to come free off the edge.
But
you asking Burns to drop back in coverage and do multiple shit because he don't have them people beside him.
How about this? Tell me who. Look at all the help that Max Crosby has in Las Vegas. Tell me one player on their defense. Tell me one. Name one person.
If you want to bring up Max Crosby, he didn't have better numbers than Burns last year, so that's the wrong tree to bark up.
Well, you got him better now, right now.
I don't give a damn.
So do you really think that Brian Burns is a top 5 defensive end in this league?
No.
What do your eyes tell you? Your eyes say no.
They tell me no.
Then. Well, then you trade him away and you see what the fuck you got on this team.
I didn't say that. I said that you're gonna have to pay him because you don't. But to say he's top 5 is just bananas, dude.
No, he's not.
Who said he was top 5? I just tell you, look at what your eyes tell you.
I said he's a very good player, but
did
not
you hear
elite.
me say the word elite?
No, but you want to pay him elite level money though.
But the problem is what other guy do you have to do it? You have nothing else.
Well, I mean, we're not disagreeing there. We're not disagreeing there.
As the Panthers
trade his ass.
Back themselves in the corner. If
look,
we're
gonna get to the quarterbacks in a second. But I know that y'all don't extend Bryce the same courtesy of the players around him not being up to snuff like y'all do for Brian Burns, man. I'm just saying. I feel like there's some cherry picking. But let's read that money. Let's read that money right quick because Red Swarm coming through on both channels, man. Pop, read this one out.
Red Swarm with the 499. What's good, fellas? C3 Panthers and Black Cat Panthers.
Yes, sir. And then Swarm came through on the C3 channel. Says loving the combo pod. Cody Goat, Pop, and Tony WQ Panthers podcast. Great, Swarm. We appreciate you, bro. You're cool for a Falcons fan. I don't care what no one say about you, bro. Ken Jermaine said cherry picking is only going by sack numbers. Burns, 71.6 PFF. Bosa, 92.8 PFF as we currently speak. Sorry, Black Cat, they're not even close. They are not even close. That's what we've been trying to say.
I think Burns has some limitations as a player.
And he's
right.
not.
I
He
think
don't have
that's
no
the
power.
thing is I think that number one is I think that he can get muscled in the run game. And you could say, yeah, okay, well, the team is terrible against the run. I understand that. So, look, we're giving up 7 yards of carry up the middle, dude. So, hey, it's not just Brian Burns that's the problem against the run. But I don't know if Burns has anything really much more than speed and spin. I mean, I don't think he wins with power.
No.
I don't think I don't know, man. I just feel like this is.
He
I think
doesn't
he's a
get off
very
the
good
block.
player. I think he's a very good player. I don't know if he's great.
And we
And
shouldn't be
also,
in this.
like,
We shouldn't be in this
Okay.
predicament. Period. I mean, at the end of the day, once again, we dropped the ball. Right.
I
Obviously,
think we need
you
to
know what I'm
sign him and go get like Chase Young.
saying? Like they need to stop. This is the problem with our organization. We should not be in this situation because this is another prime example when we've had good players here, we've either let them go and get nothing, or we didn't sign them. And it shouldn't. He should have been already signed last year.
I agree
Because
with
and
that.
then and
I agree with
and
that.
then when
Then you wouldn't
and when
have
it
to
got
pay him
somebody to job,
$30 million.
yeah. But we got a GM, and we'll get to that.
Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
think the Panthers should, just a follow up question, do you think the Panthers made a decision that the future of the defense was with Brian Burns, not Hassan Reddick? Do you think that, and I don't think that they complemented each other well, to be honest. So I don't think keeping both of them was the right move. I understand that. Would you rather have Hassan Reddick or Brian Burns?
I wouldn't want it either way. I would have to have both. Because I haven't seen that, but only once, and it looked good to me. I mean, compliment or not, I mean,
Yeah.
one had 11. I think the other one had 14. I mean, or one had 9 and the other one had 11. Whatever the numbers is, they did their job. And when you have that type of pressure, you you're gonna have a pretty decent defense every single game. Knowing that you got pressure coming out that quarterback. We
And
have only one person pressing the quarterback. That's elite. Well, good at it.
there might be one other reason that Burns' numbers aren't better than they are right now, and that's because teams can run on us so effectively. You don't get in real good pass rushing situations. You don't get teams in. You're not getting teams in third and longs. You're getting teams are in third and shorts if it's third down. They're just running the ball all over you. So, I mean, there's an argument that Brian Burns, that not only has he not got the players around him, but the fact that the defense is so porous that it's not really giving him an opportunity to show where his true skill set is.
The perfect example
He's
was
like
the
your
Atlanta
quarterback
game.
and needs help.
That's the way it happened. The same way it happened in the Atlanta game. We took Desmond Ritter out of the game. Then they ran with Algier and Bijan Robinson. They ran on us the rest of the game.
Now you can't sack a running back.
Yeah. Look, this is my.
You can't run in the opposite direction though, like how they did in the second half.
Yeah, this is the last thing I'll say about Brian Burns, man. When Tony says that, like, he's kind of like a one-trick pony, he's got the speed rush to the outside. He can kind of twist back inside, but he doesn't convert speed to power very well. He doesn't have any like get-off maneuvers. Like if a left tackle is leading him around the edge, the best of the best know how to disengage from him and still get to the quarterback. Like, how many near misses do we get from Brian Burns every year, man? I thought this 3-4 defense would be the catalyst that made him turn that corner, and there's still too many plays that he's leaving out there on the table. On top of it, we played Miami. He's playing against a backup left tackle. They don't have Teron Armstead and still didn't record a single sack. Like you're not showing up in the biggest moments when we need you the most, man. So that's what makes it difficult for me. I wanted to see more from him. No one's denying that he has the talent and the capability to do it, but he does not display that consistency that makes this an easy discussion of just pay him whatever he wants. Like it's not that simple for me.
I think
That's
you're
all.
gonna
Now,
have to though. I think you
don't pay
have
him
to.
whatever you want. Don't pay him whatever you want.
I don't
I
think you
think
have a
it's a common
choice.
ground that got to come to. And yeah, that you true on that, Tony. You back yourself into a wall as the Carolina Panthers, where you don't have a choice. We had a debate this morning on our show about okay, Fitter didn't go get a corner. You went and got a damn not a running back, a wide receiver at 39 to help Bryce. When you
Right.
when you put Bryce as a quarterback, you went and got a wide receiver. We had wide receivers with the same skill set as Mingo on the team. So you didn't address the corner situation, you didn't address the other edge rush on the other side or D tackle. We've just been missing as a team as a whole in the draft and free agency.
That's the real
free
problem.
agents we brought in it ain't shit neither.
That's the real problem of why you don't really have a choice about the matter. The fact of the matter is, without Brian Burns, you have nobody. And if you go back, look, is YGM, Amari Barno, Christian Miller. We could go down a list of guys that they tried to, I don't know, throw a bunch of fucking that shit against the wall and hope it worked, and none of it has worked. And that's the fact of the matter is Brian Burns is the only guy that showed up and played for the last 5 years. And because you don't have any other depth or even somebody that you think could play on the other side, and then you maybe say, all right, we don't want to pay Brian Burns 30, so we're going to go and get, I don't know, Jadeveon Clowney on a 2-year deal or something like that for, $12 million a year or something. You can't do that because you don't have anybody that is reliable or dependable other than Brian Burns. So like you have to pay Brian Burns and go get somebody in free agency.
Yeah. And
You want to know the worst part?
My bad, Q. Go.
Oh, no, you got it. You got it.
It's real short. You go right to me. What kills me is people say, I don't want to pay Brian Burns, but you don't know who you're going to replace him with. So at least you can count on somebody giving you some type of production on this trash ass team compared to nobody that you wish upon a star that you hope that this bad GM can go draft that you've never seen them do in the last 6 years. If you watching the Panthers draft well, go ahead, Q.
Well, you already know they went and got Justin Houston because they thought he was going to be complimentary to Brian Burns and come out here and give us some sacks after he went and almost give double digits in the Baltimore Ravens. Well, look at the replacements that everybody's saying that you can go and get a free agency. That's Justin Houston on your team right now. He pure shit. So if you think you can go out and get a draft and go and get players and replace these guys and wait on them to be something, this is what you're going to have if Brian Burns walk. Pure shit.
I mean, I think that's the reality of the situation.
Hey, Q, didn't you like DJ Johnson a whole lot throughout this process?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I mean, since you're talking about players, I like. You like a punk ass quarterback that can't see across the damn field. So what's your fucking point?
I mean, hey man, you like a player you like an edge rusher that don't even
dress
on Sundays, man. He don't
even
dress.
Look.
That's
your worries about DJ Johnson. Exactly. This coaching. What the fuck you want him to do? It's not his fault.
All right. It ain't his fault, man.
It ain't our fault. We took a goddamn safety after we had 6 fucking safeties on the roster. That's our fault too,
bro. All right.
Oh, okay.
I mean, all right. I just think it's funny. Whose fault the coaches is on when the players are underperforming, and then when it's the players' fault, like Bryce. Well, Bryce is trash. He's too little. But Brian Burns has been here for 5 years. He's only got one season of plus 10 sacks.
Don't do that, Cody.
See,
come on, man.
He called me toxic.
What player have we said that has been unperforming? Because if you're talking about Brian Burns, he's the only person you got on the D line that performed other than Derek Brown. So we haven't talked about anybody else. We talked about Brian Burns and who else have we? DJ Johnson has not played. Actually, I seen him on special teams. So, what player are you talking about? You got to be a little bit more elaborate when we say when we choose to pick the blame the coaches or the player.
Bro,
Your turn.
you already know the player I'm talking about, man. It's Bryce
okay.
Young. It's Bryce Young.
It's
It's Bryce Young. It's Bryce Young, man. We do not have a lot of talent around him, and he hasn't been playing well. But I just wanted to say that
He hasn't
when a
played bad though
when a
either.
player,
Oh, he has it. What do
alright, here
QBR
we
say?
go.
Well, what's the
Here we
fucking
go.
QBR's professor? Since you like the numbers,
Here we go.
Why you keep putting me on the numbers? I teach history,
nah,
dude.
nah. Your ass want to talk about he hasn't played bad. You ain't seen them
He's not
fucking
been
numbers.
terrible. He's not been terrible.
What's your definition of terrible? Fumbling all the damn time and throwing interceptions?
I mean, don't you think that look is to not? Wouldn't it be bizarre for him to not do that? I mean, isn't it kind of look? I mean, there's gonna be growing pains. There's gonna be moments like the idea. I didn't think that Bryce Young was gonna have no interceptions this year.
Brian Burns has more help than Bryce.
I thought he would be better. I thought he would be better. I thought he would be better than this. But at the same time,
yeah, that's the problem.
Professor, can I ask you 2 questions real quick?
Sure.
And you're educated, man. How many teams do we have in the NFL?
There's 32.
Guess what number Bryce Young is rated at?
Is he the 32nd quarterback? No,
no, that's too nice.
33.
33.
Oh, because of my boy Gardner?
What?
Fucking everybody
up.
He's a fucking backup in the NFL.
Josh Dobbs coming in there.
Bro. That's
No,
wild.
you had PJ Walker was ahead of him one week because PJ came in and beat the 49ers, and then you had Gardner Minshew ahead of him.
Yeah.
Backups.
Yeah, let that sink in. That's your guard. He's a fucking backup in the league.
And my God, yeah, you know I wanted to roll with Matt Corral for a year.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I told y'all we should have
Nah,
gotten
you
Gardner
already know what
Minshew.
I'm on, bro. I don't see nah, we could have.
You can't be seriously talking about winning, Cody.
0-6 just for free.
Yeah, you can't talk out the side of your ass like this and be serious.
Before we get too off topic on the Bryce Young thing, did you guys see Frank Reich get upset today?
Yeah, I saw that dumb shit he talking about. I always had this guy as my quarterback. Oh, okay.
Hey, well, look.
Big quarterback. So your best friend lying on you?
Hey,
Your best
so
friend
look,
lying on you?
that's a perfect segue into our very next debate topic. Force Bryce Young onto Frank Reich and this coaching staff.
All right, you gotta wait for the music to end on the thing because we all miss every time we miss the very beginning of your question.
Oh, I thought it did that. I thought it did. But look, my question is: did David Tepper force Bryce Young onto Frank Reich and this coaching staff? Now, Tony, I'm gonna pose the question to you first because I know how these fellas feel. I mean, I know all day how they feel. I've been now a proponent of this idea myself. But Tony, how do you feel? Did David Tepper force the quarterback onto his brand new head coach?
I wish I remembered where I heard this because I've stolen this take. And I don't know if it was I think it was a national guy. And they were talking about this is that when you're a billionaire, right, and you have that kind of money, that power, and you can maybe put like politicians or something like in real high places, or whoever's got this obscene power where they are untouchable in a way themselves, like a David Tepper, that they don't have to say this is the guy I want. But everybody in the room is trying to figure out who David Tepper really wants, right? So it's like, I think, so every word, everything that they hang on it, and they're trying to anticipate who would make Tepper happy. And I think that when you had these guys, and when you look around and you saw all the talking heads who said, basically, there's two quarterbacks that are at the top in Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. And then the literal, like, my guy, Anthony Richardson, who because I had a type. I got a cam type. Right?
That's it. That's who Q and Goat were wanting, man.
Right. It's because that's an upside thing. Right. Right. That's a thing that there was a certain sort of long-term plan or risk, which actually wasn't there, it turned out, except for he got hurt. I think like, who cares what? I don't know I think that Scott Fitter and all of them just figured that David Tepper liked him because he's taught so well. He's just so smart and so boring. Look, I think that CJ Stroud was very polished in all of his interviews.
Hey, by the way,
so I don't
think
it's like head and shoulders above, but I think I think Bryce Young, if you saw this, he didn't go to the combine because he couldn't win the combine. Anthony Richardson was going to win the combine. He was very controlled in what he threw and what he did. Bryce Young won the interviews, and that's what won at the end. And I think that just kind of sat with them, and they just felt, I think they anticipated that was David Tepper's guy. So that everybody just kind of felt the wind blowing that way, and they found ways to justify that Bryce should be the guy. And also everybody was saying he's the most pro-ready quarterback.
Hey, shout out to my man Jay Issue.
They got told a magic bean.
Yeah,
I tell you this, guys, I will never ever
the list of Bryce at number 33 in the QB.
Oh man, I tell you this, guys. Next year, when we're in this around the draft time, or 10 years from now, when we're talking about this at draft time, anytime somebody says generational talent or pro ready, I'm out on them motherfuckers. I'm done. Every time people say that shit is fraud.
Thank you, because this is the thing, and I know you got your Bryce sexuals out there, but when you go up to go get you a especially how we did it.
Yeah.
Your last worries is to get a quarterback and he be the problem of your team. He's not the only problem, but the problem. When you get a franchise quarterback, he's supposed to elevate your team.
Exactly.
That's the problem. So a lot of y'all are saying, "Oh, he's the franchise. He's gonna get better." Every quarterback that you pick, if you did your due diligence by actually watching him play as a number 1 overall draft pick, he's supposed to elevate your team. It don't matter, because when you come to a bad team, you're already gonna deal with all that, right? He's supposed to make your team better, and I have not seen this kid come out here and make this team better. That's all I gotta say. My bad.
When you trade up, there shouldn't be question marks. There shouldn't be question marks, and there were a question mark with his size and arm talent.
But your GM said they had conviction, and that's the word that he said, and he used multiple times. If you have conviction, you trade up and go get your guy, because he's undoubtedly the guy that's going to be able to turn the franchise around.
That's what your GM said, dude. He's a short Alex Smith.
Who?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young can't throw on the same level of Alex Smith.
I don't think Alex Smith didn't have a cannon.
Think about it. They say Bryce elite skills is processing. Well, we just seen the dumb motherfucker come out here week after week and throw interception after interception on the same funky ass play. Week 1, week 2, he do the same damn thing against the Saints. Now, how smart? If you're supposed to be a smart motherfucker to be able to outthink everybody, why are you doing the same dumbass play over and over?
Mm-hmm. And you can't see the middle of the field. You can't judge Jesse Bates's depth, where he's at on the field, because you can't see.
Too short.
But his college tape. This is
not college. This is the NFL.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. They made a point today on our show. Have you ever seen Bryce say, "Damn, that was a hell of a throw Bryce made. A dart. Just zipped it in there through a window." You've never seen him do that in Alabama, and you damn sure ain't seen him do it on the Panthers. So arm talent, no, did not check the box.
I don't know. I mean, but do you truly want to look? He might be right about all of those things, that he's not doesn't have a can't. Actually, this is I heard who was it? I think it was Chris Sims who has had a lot of bad takes, but also a lot of good.
He's had some good ones too. He was right on this year's class.
He said this is that elite quarterbacks or like the ones that really become elite in the NFL have to have an elite trait. Right, like and maybe one or two of it, more than one of them. Right, so it's like you might look. It's with Josh Allen. It's his size, his ability, and his a fucking rocket that he's got. Yeah. You know, with Mahomes, it's his inability to be bad and lose at all. It is. That's his super. Like, what is the superpower? And you said it earlier, I think it was Q that said it, is that, look, they told us that it was the processing was the superpower. But at the same time, I think one of the things that we make a mistake about in the NFL draft sometimes is we draft players for who they are now and not what they will be. So the question is that just because a guy doesn't have that processing at that moment, if you can find a guy who's sharp enough and you can teach him football, i.e. CJ Stroud, you can make him into that. You drafted Bryce Young for what he was in day one, and it turns out it wasn't good. It wasn't what you thought it was.
Yeah, you fucked up because he's supposed to be a number one overall pick that's polished and the smartest cat. What did they call him? A 2-year
Andrew Luck.
2-year process. He's already on second year, like he's a second-year veteran. That's what they were saying in preseason.
And now you gotta go get a wristband for him.
Pop, your microphone. Your microphone got a lot of reverb.
I don't know why.
There it is. It's much better. Way better.
Go back and highlight Panther Pickle's comment. What's up, Panther Pickle? But this is funny. You haven't seen Bryce Young do none of this? Bryce Young has a better arm than Brock Purdy. When have you seen it?
No, sir. No, sir. Brock Purdy is way better. He is bigger, faster, stronger. He's a more elite processor than this guy. And he was a fucking 7th round pick. Swallow your fucking pride and realize he's a 7th round pick and he's better.
I'm not sitting up here defending Bryce.
Carolina Jaguars.
Like, if y'all want to pretend like Bryce can't be on the level of a Tua or like a Brock Purdy, like that's how you're gonna build the offense around him. We don't have the talent of the Dolphins. We don't have the talent of the 49ers. And yeah, he still wouldn't have been the guy that I picked. It's going to be harder to build around him than it would be any of these other quarterbacks. But
you can't even find anybody that was backing Bryce Young nowadays. You can't. There's a reason you can't find certain cats who was sticking their chest out here talking about Bryce Young because they realized once they saw him, he is not that guy, and you would not be able to make him into that guy. You look dead at this dude, and you can see he's only going to get worse from here. It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. Think about it.
I think you're being too. I think you're being too pessimistic.
I'm not even that pessimistic, bro.
You said
tell me how it can get better.
We're going to build our team like Miami in order for him to prosper, right? The problem with that statement is your GM is Scott Fitterer, so that's not going to happen.
I mean, and you got to have 5 of the fastest players in the NFL, man.
Come on, bro.
I do think that's a fair point, Pop. Is that the idea of just saying that we need a perfect roster for someone to do well? That's like an unrealistic pathway to success. Like, when do you ever have a perfect fucking roster? And I know one team that doesn't ever have a perfect roster. It's called the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, you better get. So think about it.
When you come here, look how long it took Miami. Look how long it took Miami to manifest into what they have today. Do you know how many times they picked in the top 5? And let's just don't say before Brian Flores. Some of those players are on the team that was there before Brian Flores, and then
they still ain't there yet.
Exactly. The defense is lackluster a little bit at sometimes, but they got a track team on the offense.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of
There's
players on this team right here. You guys might as well go ahead and start saying goodbye to them because they're going to have to revamp this entire offensive line for Bryce Young, being that he's so small, he can't see over the line. You're going to have to build a brick wall at offensive line. Then you got to go get him bona fide number one receivers. You got to go get two of them because one ain't going to just do. He got to have two. He got to have a power back. We got to do an entire facelift on this entire team for this one motherfucker we
Well, you
took.
can do that with any player, though.
No.
On this team, and you're gonna have to do that.
You
Any
could have
quarterback in
inserted
the
that
league.
dumbass CJ Stroud with his stupid S2 taking ass. You could have put him right in here, and this team would have continued flourishing with Thielen, because they went and got Thielen for a fucking reason. They went and got Hayden Hurst for a fucking reason. They went and got Miles Sanders for a reason. That's my point. They suck ass. Why would you go spend money in free agency? And this is the thing. You spend big money in free agency getting these guys in here because you thought that they were it. Paying Miles Sanders ain't big money.
Let me ask you something.
I don't think really. I mean, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll shut the fuck up.
I don't think it's big money.
Oh, okay. $6 million to a running back that fumbled 3 times so far and ain't give you no production. That ain't big money.
With the wide receivers that we have now that have problems getting open, wouldn't it make sense for you to go get a ball placement specialist?
A point guard, so to speak.
That guy ain't never played football, so that's a dumb saying. Period.
That's what David
Just
Tepper
saying.
said.
All right,
Well,
so
that's
look.
your owner.
Go ahead. Go.
No, the point I was trying to make earlier was you look at Atlanta and they got Kyle Pitts and Drake London, but those boys can't flourish because Desmond Ritter can't get them the ball. It's the same thing like Q was just trying to say. We went and got Hayden Hurst and Thielen to go in there to help the quarterback. We went and got DJ Chark to open up the field, to back up those safeties, to back up those linebackers. It's not happening because the quarterback can't deliver the ball. Not because they're not doing their job at times. The quarterback can't deliver the ball.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's unfair.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat that disagree.
I think he's had 2 or 3 games where he's had over 60% completion percentage. So to say he's missed on, he hasn't hit a downfield throw yet. Everything's been off on that. Look, I feel like just saying he can't do it is too one-sided of a story. I think every time, I think there's an argument that there's trash players around him. I think there's an argument that every time we get in a big situation that the damn offensive line folds, right? Like right when you need them to hold up, somebody gets blown right by. So they'll play.
So it's everybody else.
No, I think it's everybody.
Yeah, just like y'all said.
I don't think it's everybody else.
No,
I think it's every single
this
unit.
Is what I'm talking about, Q. Y'all would do this for Brian Burns. Oh, Brian Burns ain't got no help. Brian Burns ain't got nobody around him.
What part of 0-6 is y'all not understanding? We're a bad team on both sides of the football. We're a horrible team.
We understand that. But we're not arguing with that.
Brian Burns is 5 years deep. Bryce is a rookie in the
it's
NFL.
5 games deep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like there's a difference between these two, man. Like if Bryce doesn't get the same type of treatment that Brian Burns is getting, and Burns is on his 5th year now. It's like you can't tell me that Bryce couldn't have some level of success if he had a Mike McDaniel style coach and he had the weapons like the Miami Dolphins do. You're not going to tell me that he'd be looking this bad right now. They have a very similar situation there. That's why I compare him to Tua.
That's hypocritical because your coach and your owner said he didn't need all that.
But listen, I think I've been pretty fair even about Brian Burns. I said that he's a good player. I don't think he's great. You know what I'm saying? I think just like we're saying Bryce Young needs help, so does Burns. But what Bryce Young needs is a lot way more. And the level of what they said he was, like, oh, he has the intelligence of Peyton Manning. I'm like, oh wow, and like they selling this. Like we were for all those who in the chat, if y'all don't know, C3 and Black Cat Panther podcast were all down there in Spartanburg. We all hung out and
Yep.
everything. We sat there and watched Bryce Young, so they know how small he is, just like we know how small he is.
Oh yeah.
There was definitely some decent throws and some throws that were like, okay, but we expected that, Now that we got in the full 6 games full of him playing, he's going to be judged a little bit higher, just like any quarterback is. If you win the game, the quarterback gets all the praise. If you lose the game, the quarterback gets all the blame. That's
He
how
is
it is.
tiny as fuck, bro.
But he's tiny as shit, y'all.
It's
And
wild.
we're not lying to y'all. You don't see him. You don't in the huddle. You don't see him.
Yeah.
He would disappear. So it's not like yes, Black Cat is a little raw, but we try to keep a lot of facts to y'all too, as well as our opinion. And everybody's not going to agree, and we appreciate all of y'all coming out, disagreeing and agreeing with us. But we just call it how we see it. I mean, we just don't see the it factor in the guy. We don't
He's
see
sitting
that
in the locker room. He's sitting Indian style eating chicken nuggets.
And listen, he was not my he was not my number one, man. I compared Stroud to Joe Burrow with the bigger arm. I thought that's who CJ Stroud was coming through the draft. That's the guy I preferred. And I never gave a damn about an S2 test, man. You can ask Tony. You can ask any follower of the C3 Panthers podcast.
Man, we'll give a little damn, man. When you get
y'all did.
or whatever it is,
I didn't give a damn.
Yeah, they said he was a dummy. So
that test
he's a visual learner.
That test don't have shit to do with football. It wasn't made for football.
It's not a
it don't
good
have
test
shit
taker.
to do with football. And everything it said Stroud wouldn't be able to do, Stroud is doing. And Bryce is the one who isn't hitting on all those things that the S2 test said he should be able to do at 99 points.
I think it was Bryce's,
the hell that he scored, man.
I think it was Bryce's team I think Bryce's team is the one that fanned the flames.
And his daddy and his mama had him taking that test since he was in like high school or some shit. Like,
I tell you one thing is this Black Cat podcast ain't gonna slow down on this if CJ Stroud goes and puts up 300 and Bryce Young put those 2 picks, man. Lord, boy, that's gonna be an I know. Like, did you guys see Cody? You saw Ricky Raines from.
Yeah, he interviewed DJ Chark, right?
Yeah, and DJ Chark said, look, we all know that there's an elephant in the room. We don't talk about it. But we know that they playing each other this week, and Stroud is having a good year. And Bryce ain't, so like, look, you want to talk about the damn narratives and the storylines that are coming out of this. We talked about this on our show last night. Cody was the one that brought it up, is if Stroud goes and balls out, and Bryce is just average or below average.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear about
it's gonna be over. It's gonna be over.
I got a worse problem that for y'all. Y'all haven't talked about this yet. I got a worse problem for you. We do play the Titans. Will Levis is starting this week.
Will
coming up on the schedule. If he whoops our ass.
Oh God, I don't know if I could show up for that post game.
Mayonnaise monster.
Pull up and tell me Bryce is the man. Please pull up.
God,
I tell you, this is the post game show is gonna be fucking nutso if we lose to CJ.
Oh, dude, it's about to be lit. Hit that like and subscribe, man. To both channels, man. C3 Panthers Pod, Black Cat Panther Podcast, live on both channels right now. Hey, man, that leads us into. I mean, basically, it's the final question that I had written down, but we're talking about quarterbacks. When was the time to take the quarterback? My final question. All right, I gave it enough time. The music has stopped. My final question is, should the Panthers have waited 1 year to get their quarterback? Or was last year the year to go get their guy? That's what I want to know. Did we jump up too early and we just should have stayed patient?
I want to hear GOAT perspective. Go ahead. Let me hear you, GOAT.
You already know we should have stayed at 9, and that way we could go get the great Drake May. The great Drake May.
Born in Charlotte, GOAT.
All of his 6'4", 200 and some odd
Look at the
pounds.
professor.
The great Drake May. With his rocket of a cannon arm and that Carolina blue just waving in the wind. The great Drake May.
Damn, bro. Go ahead, Q.
What? I ain't gonna say nothing. All I'm gonna say is
that smile says it all. I already know what you're saying. Go ahead.
we should have stayed at number 9, and what we should have did is got Jalen Carter and paired him with Brian Burns and take our time, him, Derek Brown, and Brian Burns. Then second round, what we should have did, we should have took our time and went and get Drew Sanders or any linebacker that was going to be able to solidify this defense in the middle, build this thing the correct way. Then take our time and come out. You know, you could have get that cornerback Rush or Eli Ricks that went undrafted. I mean, you had so many options of what you could have do as a good GM to solidify this team. Then we could have been stout defensively. We could have had gotten any quarterback that you could have, you know, 3rd, 4th round if you wanted to take somebody and really take your time and build us the correct way. Go out with Andy Dalton and win what you could. I guarantee you, we probably would have started off this year. Probably only lost maybe 1 or 2 games, probably coming out like that, because you have a solidified defense. You have true weapons that you win and got.
Quarterback that way, then how you gonna get a quarterback then?
Hey, check this out. You forgetting one thing. You still got DJ Moore, and you still got number 1 overall pick that you can go out and use to leverage yourself. I don't mind leveraging myself the following year for Drake May or one of these other guys. It's called having patience and making sense in what we doing.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Something that we've never done.
Yeah. 2 things we never done.
All right.
I'm gonna take your favorite player in Panther history. Matt Corral would have been the number 1 QB coming into this season, right?
Yeah.
You would have seen what your 3rd round, who we moved up to go get, what he had, and built everything else. So it's amazing how we just over and over again. What they say, if you do the same thing over and over again and get the same results, is what? Insanity.
Yeah.
And our Panthers
we
brother
never traded
and
up,
sister.
though. We ain't never traded up. We ain't
Well,
never
man,
done.
Let me finish my soliloquy. What I mean by that is doing terrible in the draft. In the draft. Say it with me, Professor. In the draft. We have continuously done bad in the draft. That's insanity. Go ahead.
Man, so look, I'm gonna say it to you like this. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Goat said, and that I would love to be in the running for a 6'4" Charlotte-born native and Drake May. Man, even when I see him, bro, it makes me cry on the inside a little bit, if I'm being honest with you. But no, I still say last year was the year to do it, or this year was the year to do it, and we took the wrong guy, man. And I still think Bryce can be all right, but he's not CJ Stroud. And Tony knows every year I do a deep dive on all the quarterbacks. Like, I evaluate the quarterback position. That's my favorite position in all of sports. And Stroud had it. He had the arm talent. He had the drive of the football. He had the ability to read defenses. He was statistically the most accurate downfield passer of all quarterbacks in college football. Like the dude is just dynamic. And right now, that young man is on track to break every rookie NFL passing record that there is, man. So, yeah, if you're going to move up, like Tony said before, you have to have some type of physical talent that warrants you being the number one overall pick. I felt Stroud had that in abundance, and we missed on him. So that's what pisses me off the most, man. If it wasn't Stroud this year, you could have had Drake May or Caleb Williams in the following draft. Bro, we're a perpetual dumpster fire, man. I'm
All I
frustrated.
know is I would have loved to see that combine with CJ Stroud and AR-15 and Bryce Young throwing them 60-yard balls on the field.
He wouldn't
And
do
Bryce
it.
is throwing that 40 and
Oh,
AR to 70 and CJ Stroud
damn,
is hitting
Pop.
65 and a half. Like, I would love to see that, man. That'd have been, but see, those are the elite traits that you're supposed to be able to put on display. He did it. We
And why
once
didn't
failed
he, Bob?
ourselves again. I mean, I don't
Why
know.
didn't he?
He's
Why
elite.
didn't he compete
He's a
at the combine?
he's an elite talker. He's an elite talker.
He is.
He's elite though, and he didn't go compete. Wasn't nothing wrong with him. He wasn't hurt.
I didn't like that neither, man. I didn't like it when Joe Burrow didn't compete at the combine. Sam Darnold, like if you ain't got nothing to hide, man, go out there and compete. Like that's literally what it is. It's just more competition. Why are you afraid of some more competition? Again,
That's that's the wildest stuff to me.
I'm gonna disagree. I think this is slight revisionist history. And that just because, is like, oh, just wait the next year. Man, we were damn thirsty for a quarterback, dude. Man, I was so thirsty for a quarterback. I didn't give a fuck. The year before I won Malik Willis. I was ready to take Malik Willis at 8
I
because I
like
was
Billy
like,
Willis too.
man, I was
And
so
see, this is the
thirsty.
problem. The
I
fucking
think
thirst.
I think the
That's the
problem, I
problem.
think the real problem is this, is that when you trade up, it becomes such a risk that it's either a home run or it's a strikeout. You can't hit a single, you can't hit a double and trade up to number one. So the fact of the matter is that I don't know if trading up itself was the problem. I think that trading up and missing is a problem. And
No,
I know this is wild. I think I would have just rather have had a top 5 pick naturally. And what I mean by that, and I'm not just saying patience, but like this is why I was saying, dude, we're gonna try to make the playoffs last year. People were like, oh, we're gonna make the playoffs, back into the playoffs, and they get blown the fuck out in round 1. I wanted us to a couple of different games. This all started. You know when this started? When we fucking beat Washington that year. What was it? Matt Rule's first year.
2020.
Matt Rule's
2020.
first fucking year. We beat Washington. We went from picking number 2 or top 5 to picking.
Yeah, we could have had Justin Herbert. Marty Hurley was in love with Justin Herbert.
Right. So this is where, and this probably goes back to something that Q was saying at the very beginning of the show, if we were going to be 0-17 or not, is that those meaningless wins in those moments have had a catastrophically long effect on this team. And what I understand, look, is I know those players are going to go out and play hard. I know the players want to go win. I know the coaches, Steve Wells, out there trying to put together his tape. But the team should have been over these past years pushing to so where we had 3 picks and you know what I'm saying? Look, is the damn Cardinals are going to have back-to-back top 3 picks.
Yeah.
The Texans had 2 first-round picks. The Panthers can't get any picks, right? And it just is. It's just is this? So I think. Look, I was, when we traded up to 1, I wasn't in itself upset about that. But the stakes become so high when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing is, wouldn't it have been nice to just get to get Anthony Richardson at 3 or something, just naturally?
Yeah, and that's what makes Bryce's slow start all the more painful for Panther fans. Like, let's be real. We gave up a first round pick, DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey for Bryce Young, because those were the picks that got us Bryce Young. And the fact that the Panthers have had a dent. You're right. The fact that the Panthers have had a dink and dunk quarterback really the past 3 or 4 years now. Why wouldn't you go for something different than what you've been mediocre with the past couple seasons in a row?
It doesn't make sense to me, man. You got podcasts out there right now. I'm not going to name them. That are like, oh, we should have just stuck with Teddy Bridgewater. Man, I want to blow my brains out thinking about this crap. This is how bad it is. This is how bad
they aren't wrong.
People say we should.
They aren't wrong because the lack of patience and we jumping the gun and catching that attitude. But think about it. You paid this cat $60 million. Now you paying him dead cap to go play on another fucking team. All you had to do was use him as your bridge quarterback, which when you brought him in here, I didn't want the motherfucker, but they went and they got him. So you stick with him and learn to live with the results of what the fuck you got. And what you should have did. I agree. He shouldn't have been getting that much. But the number one problem is you cut him off of attitude and emotion. You can't run a fucking organization off of emotion. They got mad, and then they decide, okay, well, I'm going to go get Sam Darnold. I'm going to make Sam Darnold our guy.
See, this is the thing, is that's missing 2 other points that were happening at the same time, is they weren't trying to get Sam Darnold. They were trying to get Matt Stafford and Deshaun Watson.
So if they weren't trying,
work, and then that didn't work, and they had already burnt the bridge with Teddy Bridgewater.
Exactly.
Then they had to go and get Sam Darnold. But you're right. They should have. They could have stuck with Teddy. They could have stuck with Sam Darnold for a little bit longer.
They were so thirsty, like you just said, how thirsty you was for a quarterback. They were so thirsty for a quarterback, they kept making mistake after mistake and double down on mistake and then make another mistake. We've been doing that since 2019. When is it going to stop?
They were paying 2 quarterbacks at the same time that weren't even playing here. Now, have y'all looked over the $55 million that we owe on dead cap and who they're paying?
Dead cap money.
You still paying Chris McCaffrey. Is he still here? Nope. Robbie, what's up with that Bear Anderson?
Oh, Robbie. Man, motherfucking Robbie. Chosen Anderson. Good God.
They still paying him. F-Line, still paying him. The list goes on and on and on.
Why'd they get rid of him?
DJ Moore, 14-point-something million.
Chosen.
Because he was about to beat the coach ass on the sideline. You forgot.
Yeah, he was about to fight our coaches,
but
man.
That coach ain't around no more.
Yeah, but Steve Wilkes was
not about to have you can't have a damn player blowing up into the coach face, balling up his fist ready to fight.
It's like this. I didn't like him. I'm just saying this is that like we letting players walk and we ain't got nobody.
Yeah, but man, Robbie, I agree with everything.
It's a story of our life.
Man, bro, you can't have
damn Hornets are gonna win, folks. The Hornets about to win.
A player that's not even producing, you can't have them fighting the coaches on the sideline, man. And he wasn't doing shit. Like, I wanted to have that big arm quarterback to be able to get those 2 the ball. When we had DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, I felt like a Justin Herbert would have been great with them, man. He's got the arm talent to be able to do it, but we're just $1 short. And the thing that pisses me off about David Tepper, right? David Tepper, he let Matt Rule into the organization. Matt Rule had 0 NFL experience as a head coach. And apparently, David Tepper loved Justin Herbert. He loved Justin Fields. There were a number of different quarterbacks that he wanted for the Panthers, but Matt Rule didn't want him. So he, put his biases aside, and let Matt Rule have his way. Now you go out and get the dude with all the experience that's been around the block, and he says he wants a certain quarterback, and you're going to deny that man? Bro, that's some bullshit, bro. We have Jerry Jones without the Super Bowl championships as the owner for the Carolina Panthers, man.
It's a fact. That's a fact.
You do want to talk about a dumb person, man. Robbie was so dumb, dude. God, that guy was dumb.
But he would have sat on that bench. I promise you that.
What's that bear?
Dumb ass.
What's that bear?
What's that bear
What's that bear?
Dumbest motherfuckers I ever met.
He would have sat. He would have sat there and rode that bench for
Dude,
every
you guys
failure that we owe
remember
him.
the best part about Robbie Anderson was that account that, remember, it was the Translate Robbie Anderson's tweet account.
Yeah. I remember
That
that.
shit was the funniest shit ever, bro.
Robbie's translator.
Yeah, man. And then Robbie blocked him.
But half of the chat room is still convinced that Frank Reich wanted Bryce Young. Hey, man.
Yeah.
He's coming out saying it now. I don't believe it.
If that's what you believe, yeah, man. Like, just because they say something at the podium, that doesn't mean
He got mad. He got mad. I saw somebody in the comments say, man, Frank Reich at a 10 is like everybody else at a 5. Like, so he was mad, and it was like barely mad. You know, people.
Why would you get mad about
his little boys?
Why would you get mad about something if it ain't the truth? You know what
Well,
I'm
he
saying?
said he never said that. He never once said that about Bryce, that he didn't want Bryce or anything.
But Q, your best friend came out on his own show and said nationally on a syndicated. Oh my God! Said I've known him for forever. My best friend. I ain't never heard him. He's always wanted 6'3", 6'2" guys, taller with 220. And now all of a sudden you just had a change of heart because you're not with the coach.
Well,
come on.
Well,
man.
imagine this, Pop. Imagine I tell you something in confidence, and I say, "Hey, I can't win with this motherfucker." Then you go straight to the media and you say, "Hey, Frank say he can't win with this son of a bitch, man." And then they come to me. I didn't say that. I don't know where he got that from. I never said that. That's what the fuck you got here.
People want to hear Frank Reich, and also to the real C3_AP. I got a question for you. Would you rather have a double X or XL in that shirt? I got 2 of them. I got an XL and a double XL. Which one you want? And I'm still mailing it to you.
Hell yeah. Shout out Real AP. See how fast your boy is with the clips? I'm a professional, y'all.
You're a wizard.
Yeah, I mean, we got the guy we wanted to get, and couldn't be happier about that in every way. And I would say this: I'm happy for CJ. He's had 6 good games. No doubt he'll have many more good games. But I know this: when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks or any position, it's years, not weeks. You can't put a label on a guy after 6 weeks or even a year.
No, we missed the beginning part. That's not the right clip because he says this is I never once said that. I got it.
I didn't. Yeah, if you have it, pull it up. That's the only one I found.
Saw it just a
second. Yeah, I saw that earlier. I think Carolina Blitz put it up on Twitter.
Oh no,
who was he talking about? Yeah, talking about he's had 6 good games. Who you talking about?
CJ.
CJ.
Yeah, he damn sure ain't talking about Bryce. So you come on.
Yeah,
man.
I'm about to say. Yeah.
I don't know.
Here, this is it. I got it. Let me pause.
The real C3AP say he wants the XXL.
Oh, nice, good. That's perfect because I want the XL. Then, all right.
You found the.
I got it. Yeah, here it is.
I thought at first y'all said y'all was gonna access hell. I was like, what?
During the pre-draft process,
you hear that?
You said the volume is up.
You've addressed this before, but I thought you were in
on the video
because
it is. It's the question from
quarterback.
Hold on.
Could you address that again now that you guys are getting ready to play him?
I've never said that to one person, anytime, anywhere. I always said I like CJ Stroud a lot. I like all those. I've said this many times. I like that whole quarterback draft. I think they were all really good prospects. I think they're all going to have really good NFL careers. My eyes and our eyes were on Bryce Young, and from start to finish. You look at the film, you talk to the man, you get a sense for the leader, the player, and what he is and what he can be and how he fits to what we want to do and the vision that we have as an offense, as a team, and as an organization. We got the guy for us. And I'm sure Houston feels they got the guy for them. That's great. I mean, I think it's great for the NFL. It's great for our two guys. I think we're both very happy.
Yeah, Frank's a liar.
Yeah, this is podium talk. This is what you're supposed to say.
Yeah,
His daddy Tepper told him all this shit that was in the news the last couple of weeks. You go out to that podium and fix that shit with your dumb ass. That's what he told him.
I know. I'm gonna tell you this. He also said in his press conference, and Q brought this up to me. He said that it's always been in my plan to pass over the play calling since the very beginning. But the reason why he didn't pass it over is because he didn't know Thomas Brown.
That's
You
what he
hired
said.
that man to do a job. Now, if you was a smart head coach, right, wouldn't you let Thomas Brown get you to 0-6 and then take over?
That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying.
You put your own shit in the grave. You put
Oh,
yourself.
hammer.
He wouldn't have passed it over. He wouldn't have passed if we were 6-0. You think he'd be handing over the play call?
That's what I'm saying. He's a liar, bro.
A lot of those podium talks or interviews right there lead you to believe how dumb do they think we are. You understand what I'm saying? How dumb do they think we are? When the statement that Pop just said Frank made, like Tony just said, like we were thinking, I'd give him the play calling to begin with because I hired you to be the OC. But Frank came in and said he was going to call the plays anyway. Day one, when he came to the podium, I'm going to be calling the plays. That's what he said before he even picked his staff. So
yeah, frustrated one time when they asked him about it. Come on, I don't know when I'm going to give up the play calling.
Why you keep asking me? It's crazy.
Well, man, you know everybody's on the internet too. You know all these. Whenever the shit goes viral on Twitter, or whenever you have people in the media talking about this stuff, bro, that gets around to players. It gets around to the coaches. And I told y'all the other day, if y'all listen to Thomas Brown's press conference after he was named the play caller, he was saying the same shit. He's like, man, I reiterated to Bryce that he was my number one quarterback throughout the process. And like that's what you want him to say, to be honest. But I also think he was trying to show support to Bryce because Bryce probably saw that shit too. Maybe he's thinking, oh damn, maybe the coaches didn't want me. Also, and I've been saying this, that game that Andy Dalton played against the Seahawks, man, y'all can't tell me that's the same set of plays that they were calling for Andy Dalton that they've been calling for Bryce. Man, we had a much more aggressive downfield passing attack under Andy Dalton. That makes me think they don't want Bryce to throw the ball deep.
Thank you.
And that concerns me, man. That concerns me. I'm hoping Thomas Brown employs a chuck it and fuck it mentality, bro.
Oh, okay.
Throw the ball downfield and let him move the ball.
What if they see that he can't? Y'all tell me when he has. Go back to Alabama and show me that he threw the ball downfield on a consistent basis. Go do that.
But you know what? Cody, what's funny about this? Why? Because we all found it out. We all seen it. Why is C.J. Stroud's pro day is Josh McCown saying, hey, we'll see you in Charlotte?
Oh, I know. Oh, he looked like a proud papa. He looked like a proud papa watching C.J. Stroud, man.
Frank
tell him to come on and get a house.
From ear to ear, man. But if you go look at, I'm just, man, we can't. It's too much. But we are where we at. Hate it or love it. Like I said, hey, even though my team ain't winning, we winning in life. So
yeah, man. And hey, shout out to the homie Twan Don. Donated $5. Says love watching my guys C3 and Black Cat debate. That's love from the 704 Charlotte Bound Show. Really appreciate you, brother. And hey, man, I wanted to give some good news. Last night on the show, I put out there was a girl, Lauren Heath, who's been missing for a while now. Been missing over a week. Man, how about they found her today, man? Praise
Where the hell was
man.
she at? That's what we need.
I don't even know. I don't even know. But her father posts on on Facebook, no, on Twitter, that she had been found, and he'll give all the details soon. So
That's what's up, y'all, man. Keep your kids close and
absolutely,
kiss them
man.
and let them know that you love them, man. For real.
Bro, every
Yes,
day my
sir.
phone goes off with another Amber Alert, man. Shit's wild out
It's been
here,
going.
man.
Yeah, it's been going like that over here. Well, we in the same city, so yeah, I already know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%. So, hey, man, this week got some good news to be able to report at the end of the night, man. But
Well, I mean, we got a comedy show on Sunday. That's good news too.
damn, bro, comedy show, man. CJ Stroud's about to torch our ass, y'all.
Oh God, stop.
Why?
No,
It's
they can't take
true.
no more.
Nah, we just need to let it happen first, and then we'll be crying up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it happen first.
Yo, White Chocolate said Bryce and Bajent looked exactly the same. Or Bryce, I mean, Bajent probably looked better. That was the
Why is Zion?
the undrafted free agent from for the Bears.
B2.
It was the
Undrafted
division,
B2.
yeah, the Division II Heisman winner. How about that?
Right. And he got a W underneath his belt. Woo.
Damn, bro, Bryce still doesn't have a W in the NFL, y'all. God,
Right
it's
there.
sad times, man. It's
With all
sad
those
times, man.
processing skills. With all those processing
All
skills.
the Badger must
Yeah.
Badger must
Doubt
got a
he'll
good
get it this
processing
year.
skill too.
I doubt he'll get that this year. So y'all better
Badger got a good
sober
processing
up.
skill.
Whatever you do on Sundays, you go ahead and get started. Get your liquor, your alcohol, whatever you do best. Hey, it's gonna be a long rest of the season.
Roll something up.
Hey,
But
whatever floats your boat.
damn, man. But man, we
Better
need
roll
to
your
do this
emotions
more.
up.
Hey, we need to do this more often, man. More of these C3 Black Cat crossovers, man. I mean, shit, we damn near
Yes,
do it
sir.
every day. I be hanging out with y'all fucking just as much as I do on C3, man. So shit. Hey, y'all better like and subscribe to both channels, man. C3 Panther
Yes, sir.
Podcast going live 3 times a week, man. Black Cat Panther Podcast are live every day. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Gentlemen, promote y'all show, man. Tell them what y'all are about, where they can find y'all, and how they can support the content, man.
Hey, Kim.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look no further. The Black Cat Panther podcast on YouTube, where all opinions are welcome, even though it's people don't understand. It's okay to be objective. It's okay to say instead of going right, I'm gonna go left. We welcome all opinions. It's okay. Come on, subscribe to the channel. We'll welcome you into the family.
That's
Yes,
it,
sir.
man.
Real quick before we go, we have a GoFundMe. And it's for anybody who wants to support. We want to put a billboard in front of the stadium to let Tepper know that we are tired of this bullshit. If you want to contribute, please go to Black Cat. Is there. Every donation will help. It's about $8,000. We're putting our own hard money in it too because we want to see a difference. If you care how we care, we could tell you care because you're here. You're talking to us. You're in the chat. Hey, you're even debating what we're saying. That means you're passionate. We all are the same team. We're about the same family, no matter if we agree or disagree. If you want to donate, hey man, let's get it rolling, man. Let's let them know that we're here and we're tired of it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, if y'all have the link, put it in the chat. Post
Yes,
it
sir.
up
I'll
so
put
that
it
way,
in the chat.
yeah, that way these people can get that billboard going, yo. And we need to do that. We need to do that. That's God, that'd be a news story for the ages, man. Panthers podcast is getting billboards up around Charlotte, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. Go, appreciate you, man. Give us some final words, man.
Hey man, y'all know where to find us at Black Cat Panther Podcast every day except for Thursday. We doing something live. Also, we have Solution Saturday on Station 88 NCAA. That's Station 88 NCAA. Come and get your therapy. We want you to just bring us a college player that may fit the Panthers. Somebody we need to look at in the draft. We always feature a college game over there on Station 88 NCAA. man, we've been having good times. We just been able to drop the Panther stuff, focus on the college stuff, and think about, man, what it would look like to have this guy on our team. It's been beautiful over there, y'all. It's been beautiful.
Station 88, man. That's it. Y'all check out Black Hat Panther Podcast. Y'all check out Station 88. And you already know
NCAA.
it's Station 88 NCAA, excuse me.
Mhm.
And yeah, man, C3 Panthers Podcast, man. Look, tomorrow we have an hour and 20-minute long film session of the All 22 from the Carolina Panthers versus the Miami Dolphins. And boy, there's a lot of stuff that we've been breaking down every week now that's coming out on the channel. They're over an hour long, man. We go through the entire game, breaking down plays, showing y'all what's what. Support that every Friday at 7 p.m. for the Friday Free for All, the show for the fans, by the fans. And you already know, man, every 30 minutes after every game on Sunday, the C3 Panthers post-game show, man. We are your therapy session for 10 years running. Come and hit us up. Hit that like button. And then, of course, every Tuesday night at 9 for the flagship C3 Panthers podcast. Tony, give me some final words, man.
Final words right now are the Hornets have one more win than the Carolina Panthers. 2, Zion Williams is fat and sorry. And 3, we got the Friday Free for All where you guys can host the podcast on Fridays and be a part of it. And Sunday. Look, if you ain't at this post game show on Sunday, either way, whatever the outcome is, the Panthers get their first win. It's going to be a celebration. The Panthers lose, and it's going to be a nightmare. It might be a 12-hour show if CJ Stroud torches the Panthers. There might be 1,000 calls at that point.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Look, be there on Sunday after the game. We'll be here. Check out our stuff. Support us. Support everybody. Rising tide lifts all boats, man. As the more we talk about look, if we ain't talking about the Panthers, then that means that we don't care about them. So the more podcasters that get out there, the more you guys tune in and hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the Black Cat Podcast, to our podcast, any podcast. Get out there yourself and talk about it. Call in at the show this Sunday. We got to build something because the Panthers ain't doing it. So it's going to take us to do it.
That's right.
Sure.
That's it.
It's up to Panthers podcasters to lift up this fan base, man. My name is Cody Lashley. Happy to bring everybody another crossover event. Hope to do more of them in the future. Salute to Black Hat Panther Pod. My guys Pop, Q, Goat, Tony, my brother for life. Everybody have a great night. And until next time, keep pounding.